15 times 2 is not 22. So that's why you couldn't just add the 7 and 8 and come up with 15 and say that's still a P. It's not a P because the 8 was not any, you didn't have any P's. Okay? So if this was the problem, 7P plus 8, it just equals 7P plus 8. Because you don't have any things that are alike. 7P plus 8, that's as low as you can get the expression. Because they're two different things. That's like adding an X and a Y. You can't add them together and say you have two of anything because they're different. It's like an apple and an orange. Two different things. Okay? So you have to think of P as something. It is a number. We just don't know what it is, and we can't do anything with it except if they're the same. We know that if you have 7 of them and 3 more of them, you're going to have 10 of them, and then you can put those together. But if they're different, you cannot. So let's look at number 2. It says 4a minus 3 plus 7a minus 1. They want you to simplify it. How would you do that?
So do you make it 11a?
11a.
Minus 3.
Is it minus 3? Minus 4. Because you got a minus 3 and a minus 1.
3 and plus,
The
3 plus
negative
1.
3 and the negative 1. You're taking away 4 altogether, right? You're taking away 3, then you're taking away 1 more, you're taking away 4 altogether.
So it would be 11a minus 4?
That's it.
Okay.
Let's look at the next one. X plus 5x minus 3x.
So would that be, is it 3x or 2x?
3x. Well, what do you think it is?
Well, I was going to say 2.
Why? X plus 5x will give you how many x's?
5.
If you had an x and I gave you 5 more x's, you'd only have 5?
Oh, no, 6.
Okay, and then 6 take away 3x. 6x take away 3x.
Because you have to add the x to 5.
Well, just call x an apple. If you had 1 apple and I gave you 5 more apples, what would you have?
6.
6 apples, right? Whatever it is, you're going to have 6 of them if you had 1 and got 5 more. And then if I take 3 of them away from you, what are you going to have?
3.
3 more, 3 of them, whatever they are. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You have to think of x as a thing. It's something. We just don't know what it is. When we find out what it is, let's say if we find out x is 2, then you'd say 2 plus 5 times 2, take away 3 times 2 to get your answer. Once you find out what x is, it stands for a number, but we just don't know what that number is right now. All we know is that they're x's, and when you add them all together and subtract them, you're still going to come up with that many x's. So then on across, we're on 293. You there? Okay. Did you give her that paper? She told you to wait? Okay. Okay. 8z minus 5 plus 2z minus 9. What's that going to be? 10z. 10z minus 14. You follow that, Nicole?
Yeah, I think so.
The 8z plus the 2z is 10z.
Right.
Minus 5 minus 9 is minus 14. If you go down 5 and go down 9 more, you're down 14.
So you don't need to have plus sign on.
Yeah, you added the 2z to the 8z. That's how you knew it's 10z. If that had been a minus 2z, it would have been 6z.
But it's 10z minus 14?
Yes.
Well, you can't take 14 away from 10.
You can and get a negative 4, but you're not taking 14 from 10. You're taking 14 from 10z. 10z could end up being 400.
Oh, the z gotta be a number, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
The z just represents some unknown number.
We don't, okay.
We don't know what it is, but you could take 14 from 10 anyway. You could have $10 and owe $14. You just still owe $4. That's why we have negative numbers. Your answer would be a negative 4 if it were actually 10 minus 14. That's not what this problem is. But you can always take a bigger number from a smaller number. You're just not going to end up with a positive answer. Okay? 8 plus 3y minus 2 plus 7y. How many y's are you going to have? 10 y's. And what's the number going to be?
6.
And what is it going to be, a positive or a negative 6? Because what numbers are you subtracting? What numbers do you have?
The 3y,
You have an 8 and a negative 2, right?
yeah.
Why do I keep thinking that's subtraction sign?
Subtraction sign negative is the same thing. 8 take away 2 is what?
Yeah, that's negative.
Well, what's 8 take away 2?
6.
8 plus a negative 2 is what? Still gonna be 6. So I'm saying it doesn't matter whether you think of it as a negative or subtraction, the answer's still the same. If you have 8 take away a positive 2, signs are the same, subtract and keep the, well, and keep the sign, right? If you have 8 take away 2, if I had 8 take away a negative 2, well, plus a negative 2 rather, plus a negative 2, it's still going to be, the signs are different. You subtract the smaller from the larger, keep the sign of the larger. So it doesn't matter what you think about. A negative sign and subtraction sign is the same. You don't need to get confused with them. You're either adding a negative or you're subtracting a positive. It's still going to give you the same answer. Okay? So don't get confused. When it says minus 2, just take 2 away from it. 8 take away 2 is 6, right? So it's going to be 10y plus 6. Everybody follow that? Let's look next to it. You have 7c minus 4 plus 5 minus c. So how many c's are you going to have?
6.
You're taking away a c. You're not adding a c. You had 7c, take away c, right? Isn't that a takeaway sign there? Subtraction sign? Nicole?
Yeah.
So 7c take away c would leave you what?
6.
6c. Not 6, but 6 c's. If you had 7 c's and I took a c from you, you'd have 6 c's left, right? Then you have a minus 4 plus 5 would give you a what?
So 6 minus 4?
Is it minus 4?
Is that what you just said?
No, I said you have minus 4 plus 5. And it's not 6. You keep saying 6. It's 6c. 7c minus c would leave you 6c, not just 6. So you have 6c. That's the c's taken care of. Now let's take care of the numbers. You have a minus 4 and a plus 5. So what are you going to have? 5 minus 4 is 1. Positive or negative? Positive, because the 5 is bigger than the 4, right? You guys are making this hard. What about it don't you understand? Let's go back and let me figure out what are you not understanding.
I don't know, Miss Harris. I'm just confused.
But tell me what confuses you when you look at that. What makes you not figure out what the answer is? What is difficult about it is my question, so I can know how to attack it.
Well, you said 7c minus 1c. Okay, that's 6c.
Yes.
And then minus 4.
If you have a minus 4 and then I give you a plus 5, what is that going to be altogether? If you're down 4 in the hole and you come up 5, where are you going to end up?
At 1.
At 1. That's what it is.
Right, but I'm saying, why come?
You can't take 4 from 7c.
Right. Why come? That's where I'm lost at, Miss Harris. I don't know why I'm lost.
Okay, if you take 4 from 7c, what do you think you'll end up
But I
with?
thought it was 6. It's 6c. It can't be 6c minus 4.
Then what about the plus 5? What are you doing with the plus 5?
Add it to whatever 6c minus 4 is.
You have to add the c's together and the numbers together. You can't mingle them together. You can't add a number to a c because you're saying, if I tell you 10c plus 1, are you going to tell me the answer is 11? I mean, do you think the answer should be 11? 10c plus 1? If I tell you 10 times some number plus 1 equals what? Can you tell me what that answer is? I mean, do you think that you can figure out that answer? What would you say that answer is? 10C, oh, it's Chinese. 10C plus 1.
I would just say that's 10C's plus 1.
Okay, then what, if I said 10C plus 1 plus 5, what would that be?
That would be 10C plus 6.
Then that's the same thing here, except they're just putting something else on the other side of it. They're just putting the C's away from each other. What you have to do then is gather the C's together, which this is a 10C, and that's a minus C, and then gather the numbers together. You have a plus 1 and a plus 5, so I work with these by themselves. 1 plus 5 is 6. 10C minus C is 9C. That's all we're doing. But I can't put the 5 over with the 10C and say I have 15 C's. The reason why you can't do that because I just, as we showed you, it doesn't work out right. If I say 10C plus 5 is 15C, I'm saying that whenever I find out what C is, when I multiply it times 10 and add 5, it's going to be the same answer as when I multiply it by 15, and that's not what's going to happen. Because this is a 2, let's say it ends up being a 4. 4 times 10 is 40, plus 5 is 45. 4 times 15 is not 45. That lets us know that you can't combine them and come up with the right answer, you see.